Hello, this is Monty Roth from Team The Breakers, and this is our version of Breakout. This was created from a combined effort of Avery Shelfer, Scott Trice, and myself. The Breakers maintained communication through the application Discord. We would all respond to questions asked, what tasks were being implemented, and the progress of each other's work at least twice a week after online class meetings. Using text and voice communication helped us maintain our time management throughout the project.
For this project, we divided the work up into a few different sections. I was responsible for the bricks and everything associated with them, like their HP or what type they were, or whether or not they were destroyed. Monty was in charge of things like the menus and the UIs, things like the life counter, main menu, end screens, things like that. And Avery took charge on things such as the paddles, the balls, and collision.
Breakout is a game about breaking bricks with a bouncy ball.
This is the main menu for Breakout. There are options to select different levels of difficulty. Easy makes all of the bricks a one-hit destroy. Normal makes all of the bricks a 1 or 2 hit destroy. Hard makes all of the bricks a 1, 2, or 3 hit destroy.
The player moves the paddle via the mouse. Wherever the mouse points, the paddle will follow horizontally. At the start of the game, or after missing the ball will stick to the paddle. The player can click the mouse button to launch the ball straight up. If the ball hits the left side of the paddle, then the ball will bounce to the left, and if it hits the right side of the paddle, then the ball will bounce to the right.
As you are playing, you can press the escape button to go to the pause menu. This allows the player to resume, go to the main menu, or quit the game. If the player breaks all of the bricks, a victory screen will appear, where the player can choose to replay, go to the main menu, or quit the game. If you lose all 3 of your lives, the game over screen will appear where the user can choose to replay, go to the main menu, or quit the game.
All of the game objects, such as the paddle, ball, and bricks, inherit a class called Entity, which contains an SDL-rect object and a function for detecting if two entities collide. This function uses an algorithm called axis-aligned bounding box.
The system that codes the bricks is pretty simple. They're initialized in a nested for loop, and in this for loop, things like their type and state are set. The type value determines things like how many hits it takes to be destroyed and what color they are. So a type 3 brick would be one color and take 3 hits to be destroyed, whereas a type 1 brick would be a different color and only take 1 hit. Values like the state variable are used in order to determine whether a brick is alive or dead. And if the brick is alive, it's used in the collision detection code to say like, okay, this brick is alive, I need to collide with it. But if it was dead, the ball would just go through it like it's not even there.
We created and loaded our textures at the top of the main game.cpp file. To create buttons, we created the buttons, assigned a name to them, and defined where they should be located. Handle event function constantly checks if the program has received any input. If the buttons are clicked and the appropriate game state is active, then the buttons will generate events. Button class is used to check if the user has clicked where a button resides. To do this, a Boolean function checks to see if the user has clicked within the x-coordinate, the y-coordinate, the x-coordinate plus the width of the button, and the y-coordinate plus the height of the button. The function returns true if it has been clicked and false if it has not been clicked. To render the user interface, we use different functions to call each different menu. The main menu difficulty buttons overlays a lighter colored version of the same button texture and replaces the previously clicked button with a normal colored texture.
The main update function constantly checks the location of the mouse cursor and passes the x-coordinate to the paddle's own update function, which aligns the center of the paddle with the cursor. The ball has 4 main values: x direction, y direction, speed, and a boolean for checking whether the ball should stick to the paddle. X direction and y direction only ever have values of 0, 1, or -1. When the player clicks the mouse button, the function launchBall is called, which sets the y direction to -1 and the speed to 4. When the ball hits a brick or the walls on the edge of the screen, the main update function checks which wall was hit or what side of the brick was hit, and multiplies the x direction or y direction by -1, thereby reversing the direction the ball travels.
We used a programmer's code in order to help us figure out how to work with collision. So we used his code as a reference, and a link to that code can be found here.
We will now show a sped up playthrough of Breakout. After it is finished, we are open to any comments or questions anyone may have. Thank you for watching our presentation.